Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to just chop it up here. We're going to talk about a couple of things that's going on in the news. I think that it would be insightful. Sometimes I just like to get away from the financial information every once again. But we're all going to go over my portfolio, go over a couple of stocks that I think that's important. But yeah, let's start off with the stocks today. Today we're going to be a chill day. It's Friday. It's the 1st of April. A lot of people are going to be doing jokes and stuff like that, but I don't really involve myself with those things. But yeah, let's first start off how some of you guys are going to start your weekend. And I'm not condoning this at all. This is more for insightful information. And of course, it all leads back to money in the end. All right. So let's look at this. As we're looking at this, we see that the GOP cannabis cactus leader explains why he opposes marijuana legalization bill getting House vote. You're going to see a lot of this coming out, but what's important here is that we see other headline news. Again, this website is called Marijuana Moment. And for the YouTube algorithm, this is for information only. This is not the promotion of cannabis or marijuana, but simply the information of the legalization. And of course, when it comes to financial investments, okay? So let's look at this, family. We see a lot of information coming out because the bill went up into legislation and supposedly the House passed it. I was really trying to find the information. I probably can find it somewhere else. But if you guys know about the information, let me know. But I'm gonna give you some headlines here. You see that New Hampshire House approves state-run marijuana legalization bill and rejects the decriminalization measure. Okay. It also states that Missouri lawmakers approved GOP-led marijuana legalization bill in the committee. Next one, House formally advances federal marijuana legalization bill for floor vote with praise from Pelosi. Maybe Pelosi is going to roll up a joint. I don't know. Alabama Senate committee approves bill to force women who want medical marijuana to show negative pregnancy test. Okay, so there's a lot going on with this. It's kind of like you think that they would mirror this behind alcohol before, when alcohol during the prohibition stage and era. You think they would kind of mimic those things, but we don't see those things happening, unfortunately. So what else do we have here? Maryland senators delay vote on marijuana legalization ballot bill in committee after passing complementary measure. There's so much information about marijuana that people need to know about, and this is for investments. Okay, this is for investments. So don't wrap your head around. Here's the thing: marijuana has been demonized for a very long time, and that's because of the dominant society, right? Anything they seem to demonize, somehow we get assimilated in those things, right? Non-Black people, Foundation Black Americans, we get assimilated in the mindset. But when they make something legal, it's good. It's prestigious, right? So it's like, oh, Black people drink cognac and white people drink champagne. Or it is, I'm just saying the stereotypes that are around marijuana. And also like we now demonizing tobacco use. At first, we used to glorify tobacco use, and that became from the dominant society. And people made millions and billions of dollars off of cigarettes. And there's still people to this day who are addicted to tobacco and nicotine. So we have to look at these things very objectively, because again, you legalize alcohol, which destroys your kidney, destroys your organs, right? The only medical attribute of alcohol is sterilization, right? You can kill germs and bacteria. But when it comes to marijuana, they have hundreds of uses of marijuana medicinally. Okay, and this is not, again, to promote marijuana, but this to kind of give you some factual information about it and how those investments can actually help in the long run. I also see here that Pennsylvania Senator approves marijuana banking protection bill as congressional reform stalls. That is an important step. Can you guys see that? Pennsylvania, right here, family. Pennsylvania senators approve marijuana banking protection bill as congressional reform stalls, because what's going to happen if the Senate does not pass this legislation into law and so the president can sign it, what may occur, and they're taking protective measures for people who may essentially have their money in banks or federal ran accounts and funds that the federal government could potentially seize. So the Senate's like, no, this is a cash cow for us. They're bringing in millions and billions of dollars a year for our state. It's helping all sorts of other programs, because just like the tax money that you would get from alcohol, they use that for the infrastructure, schools, hospitals, clinics, etc. It's the same thing they're using with the taxes from marijuana. So this is very important that they protect their funds by their own legislations for their state. Okay. So believe me, it's much, much deeper than what you guys see on the surface. Okay. What else do we have here? Federal marijuana legalization bill will add billions in revenue, reduced prison costs, Congressional Budget Office says. Now, the reason why they have these statistics, the reason why they know this to be true, is because they already test, tried, and proved, meaning that they're already looking at states and the amount of revenue that have been bringing in for the past almost 10 years now, right? Certain states like Colorado, I think it's been maybe anywhere between, quote me if I'm wrong, 6 to 8 years that they have legalized marijuana. So a lot of these things are very, very important, family, very important, that I don't think a lot of us is actually looking at, okay? Let me see what else we have here. Now, of course, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how Will Smith, slapped Chris Rock. We're not going to get away from that. But I want to jump on a couple of these more stories over here. Watch this. College students who use marijuana show signs of greater motivation compared to non-users, study finds, right? It goes on to say that researchers are again challenging the idea that people who smoke marijuana lack motivation, with a recent study suggesting that blah, blah, blah. Top federal drug agencies funds research on differing legal marijuana regulatory models. And it says here, don't feed marijuana buzz to donkeys. Okay, I don't know who's doing that. More Americans say it would be better if people use marijuana instead of alcohol. Now, I gave this analogy before that who would you rather have on the road? People who are drunk off whatever, drunk off wine, drunk off champagne, drunk off scotch, drunk off bourbon, drunk off whiskey, drunk off cognac? Or would you just have them high off weed? That's it, nothing else. No other narcotic or drug, just weed. And it was late at night. Who would you rather have? I mean, me personally, I would have the people who are high off weed because they probably in the right lane, driving slow, focusing. Whereas though we know alcohol through research, through police reports, through crashes, through all sort of statistics, that alcohol, most people after a certain level lose functions of their motor skills, right? What causes a lot of DUIs, drinking under the influence, okay? Drinking while intoxicated, DWI, whatever state you're in, they have a terminology for it, okay? This is important too. NCAA moves to lower marijuana penalties for student athletes and increase THC threshold in drug tests. So basically what they're saying, they're going to allow college athletes to start smoking marijuana. That's what they're saying. Because we know that alcohol, when I was in college, we drank alcohol. You're under the age of 21. So, hey, there you go. You broke the law. 99%, I'm going out on a limb here, 99% of the people who go to college will eventually drink underage, okay? You're around it 24/7. You're around it around your friend's dorm room. You're around it at the frat parties. You're around it at the sorority parties. You're around it at even sometimes college events. They have alcohol and people are drinking, okay? It's just one of those environments where people drink. It's just like the military. There's alcohol everywhere. People going to drink it, right? So when I was in college, people did marijuana as well. People did weed all the time. I went to a school in West Virginia. They did weed all the time, okay? So believe me, they know what's occurring. But again, they're looking at the pros and cons. They're like, well, we're losing a lot of athletes behind marijuana use where we know they're drinking alcohol. We know they're smoking weed. But if you had to really make a poll, right, a survey, what would be more dangerous to society? I just want you to think about that. Have you ever seen two people high off marijuana fight before? I have never seen that. I'm from Washington, D.C. I've never seen it. I've never seen two people who are essentially smoking a blunt, like they're high out their mind, and they're like, "Hey, man, let's get it, man. You disrespected me." I've never seen that before, but I've seen a lot of drunk people fight before. Now, again, there's other narcotics, other drugs out there that I'm not talking about that has all types of effects on people. I'm referring simply to marijuana and alcohol. I'm making a direct comparison because, again, those in the dominant society has demonized marijuana, but we know back in Woodstock, you hit at the most, that everybody out there was getting blazed, and they allowed it. They knew everybody was out there getting blazed, okay? So this is important, okay? It says student athletes that are part of the NCAA would no longer automatically lose their eligibility to play following a positive marijuana test reading. That is huge, okay? Because don't forget, what's her name, was Sakari Richardson. She couldn't run in the Olympics because she popped positive for marijuana. And you know what the thing about that, family, is how marijuana is such a huge stigma on, like, not only America but in the world. There's countries in Europe like Amsterdam and other countries where marijuana is legal, right? But you have the Russian girl who, I forgot her name, who popped positive for a performance-enhancing drug, and she was still allowed to ice skate, and she won the gold medal. Absolutely phenomenal. I love how this world just, I'm white and I say so. I do whatever hell I want to do. Let's see what else here. New Jersey marijuana sales delay, instant unusual among legalized states. Blah. New York lawmakers seek tax deductions for marijuana businesses in budget proposal despite federal ban. I love that. Again, these states are making money off of this, and believe me, if the federal government legalized marijuana on a federal level, please look out for all of these dispensaries and companies that's going to come out. You guys should be investing in this, okay? Cannabis bonds can solve New York's billion-dollar social equity problem, meaning that there's a lot of people, okay, that's poor in New York. I mean, just as well as New York and California, it's getting so, well, I'm going to say it's getting so expensive. It's been expensive for a very long time, but now it's even worse, okay? It's worse than it's ever been before, okay? Let's move along. I have some other things for you. We're going to go down some headlines here today. Okay, we're going to go down some headlines here today. House has passed bill to cap insulin prices. I guess if you're in that age group, that means something to you. Now, this was important. Washington is the first state to create an alert system for missing indigenous people. So supposedly Native Americans, not American Indians, that's a difference. But Native Americans, quote unquote, indigenous people, been having a problem for like the past 20 years of a lot of their young girls being missing, being kidnapped, okay? So now in Washington, where they have a lot of reservations from different tribes, they have made an alert system. So that's important. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, Black people, we may need an alert system for police brutality. And I mean, may not solve anything. It might just be a nothing burger, but hey, I guess it's the symbolism that counts, right? Let's see here. A container ship named Ever Forward has been stuck in the Chesapeake Bay for 18 days. Okay, that's not important. Now, this is funny to me. Americans have more confidence in Zelensky than Biden when it comes to world affairs. They're saying that the Ukrainian president, that Joe Biden has manipulated the American public to get behind, to support them. He's now a better president than Joe Biden. Welcome to America, family. Welcome to America, okay? What else do we have here? Fentanyl lethal toll continues. Nearly 10 million pills were seized last year. Oh, gosh. See, wheel skiing survived. Resorts struggle through a winter of climate and housing woes. What else do we have here? Understanding opposite the condition impacting Bruce Willis acting cancer. Biden plans a major withdrawal from the country's oil reserve to control gas prices. Listen to this. So again, the gas prices in Texas, I know you guys are in different states. The gas prices in Texas have decreased. At one point in time, it was around $4 a gallon. Right now, we're sitting around 365, 360 a gallon. But this is to Biden's toll of taking oil from the oil reserves in Alaska in order to reduce some of the costs. Now, we don't know how long he's going to be able to do that without really hurting the amount that we have in our oil reserves. But this is what he's supposedly going to do to reduce gas prices. Okay. Good morning, Jay Darnell. Today, family, we're just chopping it up. We're just going over some news stories. Of course, we're going to talk about the Will Smith. I talked about it before. I kind of gave you what I thought about it. And you've been hearing thousands of people, all types of creators and influencers talk about this because it's just interesting, right? Some of us believe it makes the Black community look bad. And for a moment there, I really thought about that. Like, hey, he was out clean cut. Everybody liked Will. He was kind of that transitional actor where, we knew he was Black. He acted Black. He was real, he was down to earth, and white people liked him, right? But I just realized, no, he doesn't make us look bad. He doesn't make us look bad at all, family. Will Smith doesn't make Black people look bad of what he did. Right? The dominant society has been demonizing Black people ever since they met our forefathers and ancestors in Africa, met our ancestors and forefathers when they came to America, pre-United States of America. They did it while we was in slavery. They did it when they released us from slavery and during Jim Crow. They have always demonized Black people. Always. So it don't matter. No one could make us look bad. Even if we had active shooters out here just randomly doing what other white people do, that would not make us look bad. Okay? Because we know who the mass murderers are, right? We know who essentially put this on us. This stigma that even ourselves, we're out here, we're cooning, we're sandboring, we cutting the jig, and we're like, oh, mass are gonna be mad at us because Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. He probably wouldn't smack Chris Brown because I don't think Chris Brown would, really go for that. But, family, I just kind of want your take on that. Do you think that because Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on national TV, on a world stage of the Oscar, that they made Black people look bad? Or is it because of the influence of you living in a white supremacy nation that you believe, because the assimilation in your mind, that it made us look bad? See, when other people from the dominant society does things in public and do very heinous things, if you notice, it's a blip on the radar. It goes away. It comes, it goes away. It comes, it goes away. They don't really hone on it. They don't really harp on it like this. And then sometimes, because of so many of our melanated people are giving their own opinion, they're giving their own conjecture, they're giving their own point of view, sometimes I can do more harm than good, if you know what I'm getting at, right? That's some things we have to really look at here, okay? So with that being said, I think it's time for me to go over here. I'm gonna stop the music and we're gonna look at this, okay? And YouTube, this is for commentary and oration, fair use. And we're just gonna look at this, okay? We're gonna look at this, family. And I think it's important. You guys seen it.
Oh, wow. Will Smith.
The feed.
So we know what happened there, family. I'm gonna just rewind it one more time, and I know you guys seen it already 100 times.
Richard.
This is directly after Chris Rock spoke a joke to Jada Pinkett Smith, and he said, "Hey, Jada Pinkett, I love you. Can't wait for G.I. Jane 2." That was a joke. I didn't really think the joke was funny. I mean, I didn't think it was heinous. See, again, think, I feel. From my point of view, if you do a deep dive, we have all these opinionated things that now we're going to lead to, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came out and said, family, this doesn't make Black people look bad. Let's just keep it real. It doesn't. You know who make Black people look bad? Whoever controls the narratives. People are going to give their point of view on this from a Will Smith perspective. Oh, he's been taking so much shit from society and entertainment. He got his wife out here, and she talking about entanglements and with August Alsina. So I can feel the built up pressure, and he's protecting his wife's honor. And Chris Brown there in their circle, so he knew that she had alopecia and autoimmune disease. I mean, family, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. So to me, it really doesn't matter what side you look at. I'm looking at the black side, meaning that this does not make us look bad. Okay. If any time you believe that you look bad because of somebody else, you're not standing 10 toes down for yourself. Right. Because sometimes when you're with other people and they're routing and people are saying, oh, you are embarrassing me. No, they are embarrassing themselves. If our people are going to judge you, which they do, if people are going to judge you about people you hang out with, then that's who they're going to judge. See, you need me personally. I believe you should judge people on their character and their personality. Some people will judge you by the company you keep. So we all have these different points of views, but none of us really want to be real people. Like, so if you're walking down the street what I presume to be thugs, then I just believe you're a thug because of my perception, the way I look at it. But you guys could be going to the basketball court and you guys just came from a Fortune 500 business that you guys own. I don't know. I'm just stating some facts here. So when I look at a situation like this, regardless of what occurred with Will Smith, so I'm like, do you believe it was wrong? Do you think he should have did that? Was it a better way of handling it? Of course. I mean, in this situation, this didn't call for violence, right? This doesn't call for violence, right? And I give more credit and more respect to Chris Rock for holding his own and keeping his peace. Because for a moment after he got slapped, I don't know if you saw how he swung his hands. That's a guy that was getting ready to brawl. That was a guy getting ready to fight. If you noticed that, right? So let me just show you that one more time, okay? Because I think it's important that you see it one more time, because he was really ready to protect himself because he didn't know if another blow was coming. So watch his body posture, right? And if you notice, he has himself with his hands behind his back, so he was not ready. It was kind of, Chris Rock was in a very non-defensive position. He went like this. Okay, what you gonna do? He was like, oh man, I done messed up. He thought Will Smith was going to come and talk to him very sternly, maybe in his ear, right? Maybe cover his mic that he has on his lapel, etc. But let's look at this. I want you to see how Chris Rock almost retaliated. And I don't know if people really pointed this out, because if you guys ever did a street fight, saw a fight, look at the posturing of Chris Rock, okay?
Uh-oh, Richard.
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Right there, right
Wow.
there. Did you see the arm flare up, family? Did you see his arm flare up like this? That's a guy that's ready to protect himself. That's just my opinion. But again, I don't believe this makes the black community look bad. No. It's kind of like every active shooter. Does that make the white community look bad? Are we talking about that? See, that's the thing. They will want us to focus on the worst of ourselves, our worst moments. But then we will have to celebrate their best moments. No, like, why don't you support Ukraine? Those big bad Russians with a larger military, just because they're Ukrainian, just because they believe there's neo-Nazism. And I'm like, no contest. I'm just putting my hands up. Like, when we needed help through the UN, nobody helped us. So why should we give a damn? But you get what I'm trying to say? They have you to focus on whatever bull crap they want you to focus on. So if they say, well, I think someone on Fox News, I forgot her name, but she stated when asked a question, or what was her point of view on the matter, she said, this is not the hood. And now you're talking about two black people. You see how things get really racial here? But as soon as we start talking about active shooters and police brutality, what do you get? Oh, well, the active shooter, his wife just left him, his dog died, he lost his job, he had some mental issues. It's always an excuse. But when it comes to us, it's like, oh, they don't know how to hold their aim. They don't know how to conduct themselves in a professional environment, a professional setting. They're quick to anger, quick to fight, quick for violence. You see how the narratives switch very, very quickly when it comes to us versus everybody else. But listen, has anyone talked about any of the active shooters? Have you noticed that? There was just an active shooter that I believe Professor Black Truth did just the other day that no one is paying attention to. He is getting released. He is getting released because of his mental stability. See, this is a problem that the dominant society controls the minds of Black people through mass media. I did this video and I've told you guys and instructed you guys how they go about doing this. And now even influencing creators within the Black community are looking at this from all different points of view. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if Will Smith was right or wrong, Chris Rock was right or wrong. It really doesn't matter. Like we can go into where it was just a joke. Will Smith overreacted. He has some unattended mental issues because of the condition that him and Jada is in. Some people will even blame Will Smith where you allow the entanglement to happen because you condone the relationship. So shame on you. Well, Chris Rock, the joke was heinous. We can go back and forth with this thing all day long. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the point I'm trying to make is drama happens wherever you go. The only difference is this is on TV. This is on TV. That's the only difference. So yeah, it's a very popular story and everybody's hitting on all cylinders when it comes to this. But I really don't want you guys to focus in, does this make the Black community look bad? No, absolutely not. Good morning, Alaska Skies. Nice to see you. Yeah, we're just chopping it up here. We're just having a good old time. I'm just talking about random news topics. I see that my quality here, I'm glitching a little bit. Let me see if I can clean this up a little bit. Let me see. Hopefully that does my quality a lot better. But good morning, everyone. Yeah, we're just talking about certain issues. We went over marijuana moment this morning about all the legislation that's coming out about marijuana. And now we're talking about the Will Smith. I'm just kind of giving you a different point of view because a lot of you are going to think, oh, well, this makes Black people look bad. No, it don't. No, it don't. Because then we will have to highlight all the heinous things in other people's society that they do, like all the white supremacists, all the active shooters, all the school shooters, okay, all the police brutality, all the Karens, all the Todds, all the brands, okay, that occur each and every day. We don't say that makes white people look bad, because then you will say, oh, well, all white people are not racist, which I believe. And this doesn't make all Black people look bad. No, this makes that situation look bad with Will Smith and Chris Rock. And the only reason why I'm not taking sides is because people are going to back up whoever has the bigger status. Can I talk about that for a moment? Yeah. I want to talk about that for a moment. Bear with me, family. Bear with me. Whoever has, yeah, it depends on, okay, it depends on who has the largest status in Hollywood. Because now I want you to flip the narrative. I want you to flip the narrative that if Chris Rock was Will Smith and Will Smith was Chris Rock, just the status, not the people, just the status. Let's take, for instance, that Chris Rock was a world-renowned actor, had the Smith family, had the Rock family, and Will Smith was just a comedian. Would we have the same smoke? Would we have the same smoke? No, we would not. It's about status. Everybody is getting behind, and I don't mean everybody, but a lot of people are getting behind Will Smith based on his status. Yeah, Chris Rock is a tier level 1 comedian, but Will Smith is a superstar, not just in movies, not just in entertainment, not just in exploration, but people generally love Will Smith, right? They love him on the screen. Every time he's on the screen, he has charisma. He has all this. It's about his status. It's about his level where he's currently at. would you have the same smoke? You see what I'm getting at now? This goes much bigger than this make all black people look bad. No, it don't. It don't make me look bad at all. No, 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 no. I'm a man who's sitting 10 toes down. My actions are the things that either make me look good or the things that make me look bad. Don't let one person in the black community, in the black society, to demonize and make the entire 40 million plus foundational black Americans look bad. That got to be the most asinine, dumbass thing I ever heard in my life. Because that means that all the active shooters we had in the past, I go back 5 years. That means that it makes all white people look bad. That means that 76%, according to the census record, of white people that live in America, that makes them all look bad. That makes them all look bad. So we have to think about on a broad spectrum, in my opinion, and don't let one story essentially bring down the entire race here. Okay. What else? Let's talk about it. Here's a good story right here, family. You guys are familiar with Deshaun Watson? You remember his case where I believe 22 women came out against Deshaun Watson and said, "Oh, he raped me, he sexually assaulted me, he blah blah blah," all these allegations. And now he's a free man. Well, he never went to jail, but he's a free man, free of allegation, and he has I forgot how big the contract was. I think it was like 200 100 or 200 something $100 million for 5 years. I forgot how much it was, family. If you remember, go ahead and throw that in chat. But nonetheless, this is a young man we're talking about here, and he said he did no wrong. Now, my thing is the football side of the house with what's his name? Baker Mayfield. That's his name. Baker Mayfield. For a long time, people were blaming Odell Beckham for the downfall of the Cleveland Browns, right? All the controversy, all the unwanted attention from Odell Beckham. So Odell Beckham gets traded to the Rams, to the Los Angeles Rams. They win the Super Bowl. Then they let Amari Cooper go. So who is it? Was it Odell Beckham? Was it Amari Cooper? And now you let Baker Mayfield is technically still on the team, but we know Deshaun Watson is going to start. We know Deshaun Watson is going to start. So when you look at this, family, who is the blame here? Now, at the end of the day, if you get rid of your two top wide receivers and the quarterback, I'm start looking at coaching. I'm start looking at management, okay? Because management came out and said, we want a grown-up to be in the quarterback position. But then you get rid of Odell Beckham, which was the best thing for Odell Beckham because he got a ring out of it. Now, he hurt himself in that Super Bowl game. And even if he doesn't play again, which I believe he will, I don't think he's going to play next year. I think if he can stay healthy coming back in the season of 2024, he may have anywhere from 2 to 4 years left on his knees. Okay, because they have the best doctors in the world. But if this season was his last season, he kind of went out on top, right? He still probably got that deal from Head and Shoulders with his hair, but he went out on top as a Super Bowl champion at the end of the day. And he did contribute on that game. He didn't play all of it, but we have to look at this. Whose fault was it the downfall of the Cleveland Browns? Because when you look on paper, it's similar to the Dallas Cowboys. They have all the weapons at their apparel. They have all the weapons. When you look at, we thought Baker Mayfield was going to really be a good quarterback. He was the number 1 pick, Heisman Trophy winner. You had Odell Beckham. You had Chubbs. Then you picked up, what's the running back that came over? He had some rape allegations, or some assault allegations, not rape. Kareem Hunt, he was there with Chubb. They had the 2-1 duel. You had Amari Cooper. And then you have Njoku, the tight end. So you had a solid offense when you're talking about the Cleveland Browns. Now, everybody thought they're going to Super Bowl. They have a star-studded team. Everybody thought Dallas Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. No. And we started to see that just like in real life, ladies and gentlemen, when things are not going as planned, people start to point the finger, right? I don't know if Baker Mayfield or the coaching staff or top level management was like, it's Odell Beckham. We got to get rid of him. It's Odell Beckham. He's the downfall. He's the cancer. He's the bad apple. So they got rid of Odell Beckham. And then they still did horribly bad. And you look at the statistics of Baker Mayfield, he's doing great commercials. He got the funny commercials out. But as far as the football, he might as well be over there with Johnny Manziel trying to make it in the Canada Football League. When it comes to stuff like that. We got South Cowgirl. Good morning. Good morning. We're just chopping it up, family. We're doing random news stories. If you got anything you want me to cover or we can talk about, put that in the chat. We'll talk about it. But right now, we done went over a marijuana moment where we talked about the legalization of weed going through the House of legislation. We talked about the Will Smith era. I kind of gave a different point of view of how I think we should be looking at it. And just to kind of do a quick note, that doesn't make black people look bad. If you just rewind your little video there, you'll see exactly what I was saying, and you get a different point of view, okay? Again. But when I look at the Cleveland Browns, now that they have Deshaun Watson, what wide receivers are they going to pick up? Because now he's a tried and tried quarterback. He's a phenomenal quarterback. I like Deshaun Watson as a quarterback. Very, very good. Okay, very, very good. I don't know about his personal life and allegations out there. I'm talking about as a quarterback. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Now, just because this is one of the hottest teams on the market, and that's because they put billions and millions of dollars behind marketing, the Dallas Cowboys. When are the Dallas Cowboys going to win a playoff game? I'm not a fan. I'm a Giants fan, so I won't talk about the Giants because we know the Giants haven't had a team since our last Super Bowl. And thank God Eli Manning retired. And, of course, he's a 500 quarterback. I don't know how he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he will be a Hall of Famer, him and his brother. Yeah. But yeah, I'm still waiting for us to build up a team again. So I give the Giants another 5 years unless we make some really major moves in the market. The soonest I see of a really contending team is in 3 years. But now the next question is, what is the history of Baker Mayfield? You was a starting quarterback on the same team, and now you're going to be on the bench. So now he's trying to find another team to be on. But guess what? Nobody wants Baker Mayfield. The team themselves say, hey, we want a grown-up on the team. That means he's childish. They don't want him anymore, okay? I'm just stating the obvious here, family. That's all I'm doing. I'm stating the obvious here. They say he got 22 lawsuits. Now, in my opinion, it really doesn't matter at this moment if he did it or not. From a football and contractual perspective, okay? Not, if you did it, you did the crime, you do the time, you harm those ladies, that's what goes on. I got that. We're talking about football because his contract is guaranteed. Hundreds of millions of dollars is guaranteed. That is telling, and he has the biggest contract, the biggest guarantee contract. This is telling the Cleveland fans, telling him they really want me. They value me. They value my talent. They value my body of work. Who wouldn't sign that contract? Now, he said that it wasn't about the money. Very noble, Deshaun. Very noble. Well, let me say it for you, brother. It was about the money. You can save face all you want, Deshaun Watson. I'm gonna say it for you, brother. It was about the money. It was about guaranteed. Because here's the thing. I don't know all the stipulations in the fine print, like, hey, it's guaranteed on the contingent that none of these lawsuits come to fruition and you become incarcerated. I don't know. Or is this a plain slang jacket of guaranteed 200-something, $40 million, okay? We have to look at these things, family. It's very important when we look at these situations like that, okay? We're moving right along. Again, we're talking about these different stories. Very quickly, I went over how Joe Biden is now going to release some of the oil in our reserves to lower gas prices around the nation. Now, we don't know how this is going to hurt our oil deposits in the long term, because again, by cutting off Russia, we've cut off supposedly only 4% of the amount of oil that we're getting from Russia, because America is the number one producers. They were the number one consumers of oil, but we're only getting 4% from Russia. I don't know. I'm gonna be truthful. I didn't do the mathematics on why gas prices have risen so much. Now, I can understand gas prices rising $5, 50 cents a gallon, but we're talking about like $1.50 around the nation that gas prices have, rise. Now he's like, oh, okay, let me, release some of the reserves. Ladies and gentlemen, inflation currently is at 7.8%, if not 8%. And because Russia is also one of the hugest exports of meat, wheat, and now oil, believe it or not, I didn't know how much we was dependent on Russia. It's kind of like two friends fighting. This is the way I look at this Russia-Ukraine situation. Like, just think about it. It's like two friends fighting and you're friends with both, right? Or you're friends with one and you have business dealings with the other. So because you're friends with one, you're taking on your friend's side because that's your friend. That's your homeboy, that's your homegirl. But then you have business dealings with the other. So you look big and bad when you throw sanctions on someone, but we need you more than you possibly need us, because don't forget, Russia is friends with India and as well as China. And now, if you notice, South Africa is getting behind Russia. So Russia has support. Now, our prices in America are skyrocketing. Okay, skyrocketing. People are complaining and crying at the pump. Let me tell you, Americans, when I go to other countries, they're paying, even when our gas was low, they're paying 10 times as much in gas. They're paying $4 a liter. Now, I know you guys went to school. Whether you use the metric system, the imperial system, whatever system you use, a gallon is much larger than a liter. So let's say, for instance, in Texas, I think prior to this whole situation here, the conflict, it was around $2.50 a gallon. Yep, $2.50 a gallon. When I went over to Ghana, it was like $4 a liter. So I'm just giving you the facts, right? It was very expensive for gas. Okay. So when I look at these gas prices in America, it's like, yeah, we're not in those countries. We see Americans, we complain well. We're really good complainers. And I love it because I love low gas prices. Don't get me wrong. But these other countries, they don't have the same freedoms. They don't have the same rights that Americans have. So their gas prices are astronomical. Ask some of your foreign friends how much gas in their country costs, and ask them the liter of measure. They're dealing in liters. We're dealing in gallons. So we're getting a lot more for a less amount. I'm just telling you this. So he's going to release some of the oil deposits to lower down the gas prices, rightfully so. Okay. We're just scrolling down here. We're looking at different news stories here. And if you notice, I'm going back to the Will Smith thing, and this is on a financial level, that Chris Rock ticket sales are now exploding throughout the roof. Now, I will definitely expect Chris Rock to have added security, because there are going to be some hecklers there. There's going to be some people who just kind of disrupt the whole comedic session, because they're going to be behind Will Smith. And they're like, you should have did what you did. Keep your name on my wife's mouth. Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on. But I'm glad that the brother ticket sales are blowing up. He deserved the bag, because we know you put some of you same people in there, you wouldn't have hold your peace like that. You wouldn't have, I just got slapped the shit out by Will Smith. You wouldn't have did that. You would have went in on him. You would have tackled his big ass. Because believe it or not, so Will Smith was around 6'2", and I would like to believe he's anywhere around, from his stature, it looked like he picked up a little bit of weight. He's anywhere around 220, 240. So he's much bigger than Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock is around anywhere between 5'10" and 6 feet, but Will Smith does outweigh him. And again, let me just point these. Let me just point this out. When you're training and acting for a movie, because actors go through training. Don't forget that Will Smith went through that Ali training. He actually learned how to box. So not only does Will Smith knows how to smack, he knows how to throw a jab, a hook, an uppercut. You know what I'm saying? So he actually knows how to fight based on his training from boxing. Because that's what happens when these actors are in these movies and they're doing their own stunts. So they actually get trained. And I'm not saying that's the reason why Chris Rock didn't retaliate. No. I'm not saying that. I just think that Chris Rock looked at the bigger picture. I really think he looked at the bigger picture. And I showed the video here how Chris Rock, when he got slapped, he kind of like almost threw up his hands, right? Either for protection or to retaliate. But to me, Chris Rock was definitely the bigger man here. Oh yeah. Because some of us, including myself, I probably would have gave Will Smith a good one. He would know that this wasn't acting. Okay. So my hat's off to Chris Rock. I even looked at taking me and my wife to one of his shows, but his shows are sold out, and now the seats that are left are horrible. I don't know if you're going to be able to see him, but some of the questions out of the audience are going to come out. Why you let Will Smith smack you? Why you disrespect Jada Pinkett Smith? Chris, are you okay? All this stuff is going to come out. Now, my thing is, I think he should create a joke. One of his first jokes should be talking about that situation so he can get into his routine. He has to kill the nanny off the rip. He has to go in already with a joke, talking about that situation, have the audience to laugh so he can go past it. Because people are only going to see Chris Rock because he got smacked. Excuse me. That's the only reason. So you have to create a joke around that. Okay. If you don't create a joke around that, a quarter way, halfway through the show, look for people to heckle you, look for people to yell out and say stupid and crazy things. And me personally, if I'm Chris Rock, don't fucking apologize. To me, you will emasculate yourself if you apologize. You will emasculate yourself if you apologize, Chris Rock. Do not apologize. Okay. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this again. Good morning, Ricky Mann. Nice to see you, sir. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this again for everyone to hear me. Let's get a little bit close and personal. This situation between Chris Rock and Will Smith did not make the black community look bad. I would be a dancing Sambo Negro hooking it up for massa if I believe that because two men got into an altercation for whatever reason it may be, because some of you are going to back Will Smith. Some of you are going to back Chris Rock. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't make the melanated community look bad. No, it does not. No, it does not. Because then again, I'm going to give you the same reference I gave you for early in the video, that if it does, then every active shooter that were white make white people look bad. Every policeman who have used their level of authority and position to harm black people look bad. Every Karen make all white women look bad. Every male Karen make all white men look bad. That's what someone who's very asinine in the way that they think would say to you. See, my perspective is it made Will Smith look bad. It made Chris Rock maybe look bad, depending on whose side you take because of the joke. See, we're more focusing on the people versus the situation. And now we have people out here stating that, oh, this is a strike on Black America. No, it's not. No, it's not. See, Epstein, he had a whole island that he was taking young girls and young boys to, where all these powerful, rich people were having sex with them. Does that make the white community look bad? Are we still talking about that? No, this is not a blow to Black America. No. Because again, your perception is based on the dominant society and how it has twisted and coerced your mind to think that Black people are inherently violent, that Black people are inherently bad, but you're not that yourself. How do we believe things about our people that we don't believe about ourselves? Think about that. Me, I'm not inherently violent. Violence is one of the last steps that I take. It is like someone cut me off. Oh, I'm gonna go kill them. I got my pistol. I'm going to get them. No, that's not what I think about. I get pissed off just like anybody else, and I carry on with my day. So do not let the dominant society demonize Black America. Just like on Fox News, I saw the other day. I forgot the lady's name. I wish I had the clip ready for you guys. But they asked her perspective on the situation, and she said, "Well, I will let them know this not the hood." So I guess if it was two white people, I'll have to let them know that this ain't the trailer park. Okay. And then some people are like, well, Chris Rock, he dwells in their circles. We have reason to believe that he knew about her autoimmune disease and alopecia. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what goes on with the Smith family. There's a lot of crazy things going on with that family. We publicly knew, or we assumed allegedly, that they were swingers and they kind of just in a marriage for convenience, right? This is what we thought. And that's why August Alsina say, oh yeah, Will condoned it. Right? But it was never supposed to come public. She's the one who put it on Front Street. She emasculated her husband. See, my thing is I'm not on nobody's side. Like, oh, well, Chris Rock knew about her condition, so he talked about it. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the bigger picture because we have a lot of our people coming out, influencers, creators, entertainers, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, basically stating that this took a blow to Black America and our image. Because I said this before, that Will Smith, we always looked at Will Smith like one of those transitional Negroes, right? We knew he was Black. He was from Philly, cool, charisma, charm, handsome, tall, mega star. But at the end of the day, the way that we're shaping these narratives is based upon his status. Based upon his status. Now, this is going to take a lot of psychological mind shifting for you guys. Hopefully you can stay with me. But I now want you to switch to status. The perception of Will Smith, give it to Chris Rock and give Chris Rock to Will Smith. Who you behind now? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I can't dive into who's right or wrong, right? Who's right or wrong. But I just know that the act of violence was wrong. Okay. You want to be a gentleman about it. See, that was, we can demonize ourselves, man. That was a thug move. That man, he gangster. No, that was idiotic. That was idiotic. Because I'm gonna tell you what a gangster would have did. A real gangster, he would have stepped to Chris Rock back behind stage and took him to the green room, either had a conversation or had a conversation with the hands. That's gangster. You don't do it where there's guards and there's security, lights, cameras, action. To me, in my opinion, Chris Rock was the biggest man. But I'm not going to tell you who's right or wrong. I'm just letting you know this does not make the Black community look wrong. Not at all. Okay? Not at all. A lot of people don't like what I say. That's okay. I'm okay with it. All right. Let's move right along. We got a couple more stories I want to cover here. Irreverent, I can't say this word. I'm just going to call it MEC10. I'm going to call it MEC10. Does not prevent COVID-19 hospitalization. A new study shows. This is one of the elixirs. This is one of the formulas that Donald Trump supposedly used. That's why he didn't essentially go. I think he went to the hospital for like maybe 4 or 5 hours. Then he was out. CDC drops its COVID-19 risk advisory for cruise ship travel. This is important because my wife and I was thinking about taking a cruise. We know some other friends that are taking cruises. So that's pretty cool. But I guarantee a lot of these cruises, especially like Royal Caribbean and Carnival, you got to be vaccinated. Now, last year, when we took a cruise with some other families, they did let us, they did allow a certain number of people on ship that wasn't vaccinated, but the entire time you had to wear your mask, okay? And certain places you had to wear your mask as well. But yeah, a lot of things are being eased because of the economy. Now, is this kind of like a pressurized pipe? Too much pressure in a pipe will bust. And that's what's happening to the economy right now because of COVID-19 restrictions. Me personally, people are going to defend whoever they back. They're going to defend Donald Trump. where the pandemic started under. They're going to defend Joe Biden, right? Who handled and what's the dude's name? Forgot the health advisors guy, little short guy, wear glasses, got the raspy voice. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But nonetheless, everybody's pointing the blame because I know Donald Trump blamed him, Joe Biden blamed Donald Trump, and Donald Trump blamed Biden, and blah, blah, blah. Who's worse? Listen, family. At the end of the day, this is a pandemic. And some people would like to believe there's procedures in place to handle certain pandemics. This has never occurred before. Now, there have been pandemics, don't get me wrong, but each pandemic is not handled the same, right? You have you have different signs, you have different symptoms. We're living in a new age of technology. So there's so many things they could have done, but during that time, everybody was just reaching for the stars. Nobody really knew what to do. So I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. I can come up with 100 ways how this can be handled better, but I'm just thinking they handled the best way they could. I think they handled the best way they could with their special interests. They handled this situation the best way they could with their special interests. Did you guys notice during the whole COVID-19, and we're still in COVID-19, by the way, there's a new variant over in Europe. All the new variants happen in Europe, by the way. I don't know what's going on over in Europe, but if you notice, all of these companies started to pop up because we had a very low supply of hand sanitizers, baby wipes, paper towels, etc. All these companies who had nothing to do with paper towels, hand sanitizer, popped up new businesses out of this and made millions and billions of dollars. And then they did price gouging. They actually gouged some of their prices because of the demand, right? And unfortunately, that's what they have done. Now the prices are back down where you can get masks and very, very cheap because there's so many companies out there. The market is flooded, but people are not really buying any masks. Now, granted, I'm gonna tell you on the flip side of things, I'm actually glad I caught COVID-19 when I did. I think it was when I came back from Mexico because my wife and I, they didn't cancel our trip to Mexico. Me and her went. Now we wore our masks, was on a plane, and you didn't need to be vaccinated. But when I came back, I want to say maybe a couple of days after, I got really sick. Okay, I got really sick. I got sick for about a week or so, but not sick like you think. I lost my sense of taste and my sense of smelling, and that was it. That's all I lost, right? But the great thing, and I know unfortunately some of you guys might have lost loved ones. I don't condone that. I'm just stating that I am glad I contracted COVID-19 because anytime you contract the disease and it doesn't kill you, your body becomes stronger and more resistant. It builds those antibodies to again fight. And some of the baseline diseases like COVID-19, long as you have the baseline protein of it, it can actually repel and deflect a lot of the variants that may come out against that. Okay. Let's see here. Ricky Manor says ammo, toilet paper, and medical supplies were crazy. Absolutely. Ammo is still expensive. Good morning, Subber. Nice to see you there. And he also states here that I never lost my sense of taste and smell. Okay. And also, by the way, Ricky Manor is one of my good guys here. Me and him do a lot of collaborations together. He has a channel, Ricky Manor. Go over there and subscribe to that channel. Support that brother. He gives a lot of insightful commentary. Sometimes we do a lot of material that's the same. And the great thing about me and Ricky Manor is that we don't agree on everything. So it's not an echo chamber, right? But we know how to be gentlemen about the way we have conjecture and our points of views based on the information and what we believe. See, that is what a lot of you guys should be tuning in. When you are listening to people and they don't agree with your narrative and your perspective, this listen for the insightful information that they're giving, not to change your mind, just to give you another point of view. And anytime you get two people that can have a civilized conversation, some things they agree on, some things they may disagree on. It will help you to grow a greater sense of being because you're not just thinking one track minded. Very important. To me, that's very, very important. But ladies and gentlemen, one of the best things that happened to me was getting COVID-19. Getting COVID-19 because ever since I got COVID-19, I've never got sick. I have yet to be sick. See, it wasn't last, it was was it 2020 was when I contracted COVID-19, November 20, was it last year? No, it was November of 2020. And I haven't gotten sick, period. I woke up a little tired this morning because I woke up at 2:30 a.m. I don't know why. Okay, that's neither here nor there. But that's the point I made. I haven't been sick. I don't know what me catching it did. It strengthened my immune system. Okay. Here's another story I'm gonna quickly go over. Don't touch GameStop. Don't do it unless you are a Mensa investor. Do not touch GameStop. No. Because if you're not a Mensa investor and you understand candlesticks, RSI's relative strength index, you understand trending analysis, you understand how swing traders get in and get out, you're going to lose a lot of your money. Okay, or you're going to be holding GameStop and looking at GameStop 8 hours a day to make your money back. Okay. Now, here's an important story about oil as well. Getting more oil from Saudi Arabia or the UAE could require U.S. concessions. See, we thought the Prince of Saudi Arabia was behind one of those reporters being killed out there. Supposedly he had him killed because they had some sort of verbal altercation, and the Prince don't play that. He killed him, allegedly. But we kind of cut ties with Saudi Arabia, and now we're in this fuel crisis. Now we need Saudi Arabia. We even contacted Venezuela. Remember the communistic Venezuela that we didn't want to do business with, that we actually tried to replace their governmental regime, and it didn't work out for us, so we cut ties. And now we on the phone calling. We up there on the phone like, "Hola, cómo está?" I don't speak Spanish, but can we have a couple of barrels of your oil? Yeah, Russia, we don't like Russia on this particular situation because we do a lot of business with Russia. We get wheat from Russia, we get oil from Russia, we get meat from Russia. But on this particular one, we had to cut ties because kind of the world is behind Ukraine and we got to look good like the good big old boys of America. You know, the mediators, the world police. So Venezuela. I know we had a bad history, but we're willing to make it up. We're willing to buy all your oil. We need all of it. Yeah. You're not going to sell it all. But yeah, we know you guys are first. You're first on the list of the top suppliers of oil because you have the largest oil reserves in the world. Our second call is going to be to the Saudis, and we don't have a good relationship with them either. Maybe you guys can travel over here to America. We'll lower the price of our visas. We may even wipe away. I mean, they're coming up with all type of goddamn excuses. Look. Because Americans don't play with oil prices. My boy Ricky Manor did a short the other day about the price of gas. It was funny, Ricky. That was pretty good. But we don't like high oil prices. But let me tell you, travel a little bit. People overseas pay a lot more in gas than we do, and they are measured by the leaders. Okay, let me do a quick refresh. That was kind of my list from yesterday. I didn't want to change anything. Now, this story has been driving me nuts because I think Florida and Texas, these two governors are like brothers, right? They kind of mirror what each other does. They name their legislation differently, but they do the same damn thing. Okay. They run the states however they want, which they should, because governors are literally the presidents of their state. They're literally the presidents of their state. They can do whatever the hell they want to do. Okay. LGBTQ groups sue Florida over the so-called Don't Say Gay law. Absolutely. That makes sense. Okay, I'm behind you. I'm behind you, LGBTQ community. I'm behind you on this one. Oh, no. No pun intended, okay? No. Wait a minute. Should I say pun intended? Damn it, I did it again. I don't know which way to go with this one. See how you get yourself in a trance? Nope. God damn it, these keywords. I don't know where to go with this one, but let me just read the quick clip here. I saw sweating. It's getting bad. Okay, listen. The challenge against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, some people like to call him Ron DeSantis or Ron the Satan, aims to block a new law. He aims to block a new law that forbids classroom instructions on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. Wow. Family, I don't know what to think about this story. I've been researching the story for quite some time now. So I think we should just kind of go through it. We're going to read just a little bit of it, if you don't mind. I think we need to dive deep into this because a lot of times when things come out of certain states, we really need to pay attention to it because it starts to really cross the nation very, very quickly. Here we go. Tallahassee, Florida. Gay rights advocates sue Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Thursday to block a new law that forbids classroom instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. Oh, okay. Ho. Wait a minute. I may be behind. Maybe I read this wrong. I'm sorry, family. Maybe I read this wrong. I'm human. I can do that. I read this wrong. He's blocking a new law. Wait a minute. He's blocking a new law that forbids classroom instruction on sexual orientation. Let me read it. The law has capulated Florida DeSantis, a potential 2024 Republican presidential candidate, to the forefront of the country's cultural wars. Critics call it "Don't Say Gay" law and argue that its true intent is to marginalize LGBTQ people and their families. It says here the challenge filed in federal court in Tallahassee on behalf of Equality Florida and Family Equality alleges that the law violates the constitutional protected rights of free speech, each protection and due process of students and family. This effort to control young minds through state censorship and to demean LGBTQ lies by denying their reality is a great abuse of power. Okay, I recant what I say. I'm so sorry, Ron DeSantis. I support you 100%. He is forbidding them talking about sexual orientation in kindergarten and third grade. Leave the damn kids alone. The kids don't even know who they are yet. The kids don't even know who they are yet. They're still eating boogers, scratching their butts, scratching their private parts and putting it in their mouth. They don't know. They don't. Kindergarten or third grade? And you want to teach them about sexual orientation? Leave the kids alone, man. God damn. The most precious thing we have on this earth are our children. And even they're being intact with this LGBTQ agenda. I have nothing against the LGBTQ community, but I have everything against the LGBTQ agenda according to when they're dealing with kids. Let's read a little bit more here. The United States Supreme Court has repeatedly affirmed that LGBTQ people and their families are at home in our constitutional order. The state of Florida has no right to declare them outcasts or to treat their allies as outlaws by punishing schools where someone dares to affirm their identity and dignity. The law deliberately employs broad terms and invites arbitrary and discriminatory enforcement, empowering parents to be roving censors who can sue school boards for damages based on any perceived violation the lawsuit adds. It says the law states classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through third grade or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmental appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Parents will be able to sue districts over violation. I agree. I 100% agree. I'm going to say it loud and proud. I don't care black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I don't care what ethnic, what race people are. Just leave the damn kids alone until they get to a point in their life where they can make a conscious decision. They don't really know right now. You didn't know when you was in kindergarten, third grade, if you was LGBT or not. You didn't know. Nobody knew. Uh, Even when we were small, guys, we played with G.I. Joe and we played with Barbie dolls. We had the G.I. Joe to kill the Barbie dolls, and sometimes because the Barbie dolls were so big and the G.I. Joes were really small, we had the Barbie doll to dive into the G.I. Joe men. Sometimes I put the G.I. Joe men on the on the 18 train. I had the 18, the 18 train. I had that. I used to put the G.I. Joe men on the 18 train, and I used to and run over the G.I. Joe men. And sometimes I had Barbie. I laid her out on the train. I'm just giving you my childhood stories. I laid Barbie out on a train. The train is coming. I had the G.I. Joe men come and save Barbie. I did all types of stuff. A lot of us played with our sisters or our cousins, Barbie dolls, and they played. We don't know. We're kids. We were kids. Leave the kids alone. That's all I got, family. Just leave the damn kids alone. They don't need to teach that in school. If their parents at that small age, that very impressionable, very critical stage in their lives, if their parents want them to understand sexual orientation and gender identity, then have them to teach it. Have them to teach it. I think Ron DeSantis is right on this one. Have the parents. He said through kindergarten through third grade. I'm gonna tell you right now, I couldn't be the governor of Florida. I like from kindergarten until 10th grade. Then you can start teaching that crap. Right? You can start teaching that crap. Now, I know a lot of people disagree. Some people might say 8th grade, but kindergarten to third grade, you want them, you know what? Whew, this world is going somewhere. We know while many transgender students experience value support at school, many others face significant challenges because of hostility directed at them by others, Cardona said. This includes a growing number of state laws that bully and intimidate LGBTQI plus students and their families. I mean, that's why people call this the alphabet community. And I don't believe some may say it out of disrespect and some may not say it out of disrespect. It's because they keep adding letters. I mean, if you really want to sum it up, you can just probably say the non-heterosexual community, right? DeSantis and other Republicans have repeatedly described the rule as reasonable, saying children should learn about sexual orientation and gender identity from their parents. Not in school. Thank you. I just said that. I didn't even read this story. This is all new to me. Thank you. You know what? Me, myself, and the Republican, I guess we can agree on some things. I definitely agree with this. He says that they should not learn about sexual orientation and gender identity from their parents. I mean, they should learn from their parents, not in schools. That's who you should learn it from. That's who you should learn it from. You should learn it from your parents. If your parents are so adamant about this, right? Which I'm thinking most parents are behind. That's why I got signed into law, right behind this legislation for Florida State. I picture you having your kindergarten, your first grader, your second grader, and you're like, Timmy, I'm gonna show you some pictures, okay? And I'm just trying to explain what these people are. Okay, this person right here, she's a female. She likes female, and that's what she likes, okay? Oh, I like females too. Yeah, but she doesn't. Well, does she like males? Well, she may like males, but she's more friendlier with women. Me too. Okay. Well, you see how fucking difficult these conversations going to be? That's why the school doesn't want to do it. That's why. That's how confusing this is going to be. Well, Timmy, let's just say she's like females only, okay? She's called a lesbian. Now we have this man here. He likes men in a relationship. What's a relationship? you have your friend, your friend Bobby. That's a friendly relationship. This is a you're like your mom and dad relationship. Oh, so he likes another man like my dad likes my mom. Yes, that's it, Timmy. That's it. And he's gay. Yes. Uh, These kids are going to be so goddamn confused if they allow this to happen. And then the LGBT community within that area is trying to sue the governor because he don't want to confuse goddamn kids. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, now we have a male and we have a female, and they both like men and women like your mom and dad like each other. Huh. Is my dad like that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Timmy. Is my mom like that? I don't know. I'm going to ask them. I don't think you should ask them that. But that's what's going to happen because that's how kids are. Mom, guess what I learned today? I learned that you might like other women like you like dad. That's what's going to happen. Then you have transgender. Again, I don't have anything against the LGBTQI community, but I'm just stating on this particular legislation, I think kids are going to come confused. I have an 11-year-old and we're not covering it. No. We're not covering it. Not now. Okay. He like girls and we're going to keep it like that. Okay. We're going to keep it just like that. Now, Timmy, excuse me, Timmy, we have this man who feels and believes, just depending on who you are, that he's a woman. Boy, that right there is going to be the straw that breaks the camel back. And so he likes men, but he believes he's a woman. He identifies as a woman. So even though he's a man, he dresses as a woman. He puts makeup on like a woman. He try to shape his body like a woman. He may even have a sex change so he can be more of a woman. Kindergarten to third grade, that's what you're going to teach them? Let's go to Q. I don't want to stick on the transgender. That's always one of those subjects, but that's how it's gonna go. They're like, what's Q? They're like, it's queer. What's queer? That's gay. Why do y'all have it twice inside of the Ron DeSantis is right on this one. This is my conjecture. He's right on this one. Leave the kids alone. If the parents want their kids to know this, kindergarten or third grade, then so be it. You teach your kids that, but we're not going to do that here in Florida State. And hopefully they don't do this in Texas. That's all I'm saying. Well, family, I see with my time here. I just want to kind of go over some insightful stories here. I kind of like ramble through the news a lot. And I just wanted to show you guys what this going on in the news. I saw this too. 5 fetuses were found inside an anti-abortion activist home in DC. This lady had 5 fetuses in mason jars. It's crazy. Yeah. This scroll through headline news. This is on NPR.org. How the student loan safety net has failed low-income borrowers. Now, here's another thing. Can we get on politics very quickly? After 2 years of empty airports, the demand for travel is at an all-time high. The far right and environmentalism overlap is bigger than you think and growing. What else do we have here? Philadelphia set a homicide record in 2021. Now police hope a new tactic deters crime. New Mexico launches cannabis sales within Texas reach. Uh-oh. Well, here's the thing about Texas that people don't understand. Texas sells CBD and low THC. So however marijuana looks, Texas has it, but it's very low THC levels, which uh, binds with the state law, right? In accordance with state laws. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Okay. Chicago Mayor Laura Lightfoot proposed gift cards to help residents pay for gas. Oh my gosh. You know, a lot of times I want to work for some of these state governments to kind of give them different ideas of what people may really want. Because now you're going to have people scrimmaging and rambling and scuffering and fighting over these gas cards. Me personally, what I think she should have done for the city of Chicago is got with the business owners who own the gas stations and say, how about you guys lower your gas prices and we will give you city, and I'll go talk to the governor to give you state incentive with taxes. We will lower your taxes for the next 2 years if you lower your gas prices, which will save you millions of dollars and will help save, the citizens hundreds and thousands of dollars in gas prices. Gas cards? You mean to tell me you are the mayor of one of the biggest cities in America? I mean, a heaping metropolis, and the only thing you came out with gift cards for gas? That's what you done? You mean to tell me you couldn't took this on a high executive, legislative level and talk to the business owners and say, what can we do for you guys to lower the gas rates, to lower the gas prices in the state of Illinois or in the city of Chicago? What can we do? Can we lower your taxes? Can we give you Can we give you more deductions? Can we give you incentives? I mean, what can we do? But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking with my brain, family. I'm just thinking with my brain. But yeah, I want to go back up here and cover some of this right here. A lot of people voted for Joe Biden, especially a lot of young people, for this particular reason right here. Student loan debt. He was talking about forgiving all student loan debt. Family, if you voted for this, then one, you believe in socialism, which is a direct connection and correlation to communism. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you guys remember with Newt Gingrich was talking about he's going to make gas prices across the nation $2.50, and then people were like, oh, the president can't control the gas prices. I realize in this society, in this nation, the government can do whatever the hell they want. They can say, hey, if you don't make your gas prices no more than $2.50, we're just going to shut your business down. We're going to ban your business for safe and self-health reasons. They'll come up with any type of excuse to shut down a business. I'm just letting you know. This is how things work. Because at the end of the day, it's white not say so. And I'm not saying that for all white people. I'm just saying for the white supremacists out there. And some people don't like the word supremacist because it means supreme. It means over. So we'll say our white oppressors and our white suppressors and those who deal in white tyranny. That's what we'll say, right? I'm just saying, you voted for Joe. Now he got to go. No, it is rhyme. I had to, sometimes never mind. But yeah, you voted for Joe. Now he has to go because he still hasn't relieved or forgive any of your student debt. And that's what you voted for, right? That's what you voted for. See, you didn't vote for your own personal interest. You voted for a national interest that you made personal. But what you had to believe is, I want a Politico has that truth or fact. Like, did they come in on their promises? That he did not. Okay. If you got any comments, please leave in the chat. If you like the commentary and oration you're hearing, please subscribe to Financial Literacy 101. Share and like on your social media. Today, we're just covering random news stories, family. There's no rhyme or reason. I know a lot of you guys are popping in and out, hopefully enjoying some of the the commentation here. Labor groups close in on Amazon into tight union elections. See, when Jeff Bezos was still CEO and cities around America, even in Seattle, they were talking about creating a labor union. And Jeff Bezos said very plainly, he said, "You guys come out and make a labor union. I'm not dealing with it. We're gonna take the headquarters from Seattle of Amazon and we're gonna move it." Guess what Seattle did? Guess what Washington State did? They canceled all labor union meetings. They did not form a union. See, what people like unions because unions set directives, unions set guidelines. They have a bare minimum of how much their workers are going to get paid, the health benefits, dental benefits, vision benefits, family benefits. What else? Unions also have lawyers to fight for you in case you get fired. They fight on your behalf. They do all sorts of things for people. I don't know all the benefits of a union, but believe me, the only reason why people are calling for unions is because it benefits them. And Amazon knows it doesn't benefit Amazon. That's why they won't allow a union. See, Amazon, we have allowed Amazon to get very big. And again, this is not to demonize Amazon or to lift up Amazon. I'm not going either way on this. I'm just saying right, center, neutral. But we've allowed Amazon to get so big, right? Because they serve a purpose in our society, right? You want something quick, you go on Amazon, you get it in 1 to 2 days, right? Especially if it's not at your local stores. You get it in 1 or 2 days. So we've grown that business to $1 trillion business. Okay. Amazon is $1 trillion+ business. We have done that by just being consumers. Okay. And like myself, being investors in the Amazon stock. Okay. So we have done this. Now, we have all heard about slave labor at Amazon. Well, family, you have some great insight here. I used to be an operations manager at Amazon. And out of a 10-hour work shift, the associates there get roughly an hour off. They get 2 15-minute breaks and they get a 30-minute lunch. Now, I know what some of you are stating, depending on where you work, you only get a 30-minute lunch, right? But if you're working in an office environment behind a computer, you kind of take breaks whenever you want, right? And everything is based upon metrics in Amazon, data, metrics, meaning the time that an associate is not doing their job is costing Amazon money. So they have managers to, inquire about, do you need any help? Is there any assistance I can give you? They could just be having diarrhea that day, but Amazon insists that you go and engage with that associate in order to figure out what's going on. Okay. Now, this is driven by managers. Managers at Amazon want to get promoted very quickly because that is the culture of Amazon. You can go in as a level 1, and in 3 years, you become a level 6, making 6 figures in 3 years. You can start from the bottom and be a level 5 or level 6 in 3 years, depending on how hard you work. Okay. That's what it's based upon. Okay. I think Amazon have 14 leadership principles. Okay. I used to know them. I don't know them anymore. But yeah. So the drivers behind that are the managers. When I was a manager and somebody was sick or somebody had diarrhea or something like that, I was very lenient in the way I went about certain things. Very lenient because we're humans, right? Some managers did not care. They're like, okay, well, I know you got some on. Do you need some pills? You need you don't supposed to give the associates pills, man. You don't supposed to do that. They got to go up to the AmCare in order, to get assistance with things, right? And then if they go to AmCare, then those metrics are not being hurt because now they're in a medical status, right? So sometimes it's ill-equipped, uninformed managers that hurt the numbers of Amazon or hurt the image of Amazon itself. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, For a very long time, the U.S. military, no matter what branch, was always getting a bad name, especially during the Vietnam era. Now, during the Vietnam era, I know there was a draft, but current day to day, you don't hear anyone talking bad about the military. You know why? Do you know why you don't hear anyone really talking bad about the military? Do you know why? Because it's a volunteer service, just like Amazon. It's a volunteer service. Amazon is a place where you go and apply. People, the public who don't work for Amazon are acting like they're trapped. They take our phones away from us. Yeah, they take your damn phone away from you because you know why? You'll be at your station where you're supposed to be packing boxes or loading trucks or loading the VNAs, very narrow hallways where they load all the products and stuff. Whatever it may be, packing Carriget, you're picking stuff out of the Kiva field, whatever it may be, you won't be doing your job. You know why? Because everybody like this in America. Everywhere you go, everybody like this. Let me check. Let me look up this. Let me do this. Let me do that. Blah, 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 blah. You're always on your damn phone. That's why. And Amazon is stating that, hey, we work in a warehouse environment. There's a lot of moving parts. We have a huge robotic arm that lifts up pallet jacks. We have autonomous forklifts. We have people moving about, moving Carriget and boxes and product and this. We can't have you on your phone. There's just too many damn distractions. So Amazon rule, which is their business, is that you shouldn't have your phone. When I was in the military, there's certain rooms I couldn't go in with my cell phone because of security reasons. And guess what? Some of the technology at Amazon is proprietary. So you can't record it without their say so or their knowing. So there's so many reasons why they can't have their cell phone. Now, again, I know it comes as though like he's defending Amazon. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth. It's volunteer. At the end of the day, it's volunteer. You can quit. But see, what people don't tell you guys is that Amazon has all these fulfillment centers around the world, but of course they have more in America, and they're going to cities and towns where there really wasn't much work. Most of the people in that area was unemployed, underemployed, unemployable, and Amazon have gave them the opportunity to make an honest wage. Yeah, work hard, play hard. And again, it's volunteer. So opportunities that Amazon have given people, and if you believe it's slave labor, then quit. It's kind of like when I was in the military, and we'll have new privates to come in, and you can tell because of the display of unwanted and negative behavior, they didn't like the military or they didn't want to be there. They didn't like what they were doing. And so the first thing is say, hey man, just hack it away. You got about 3 years, work on your associate's degree, get some certifications, make yourself marketable once you get out. They just complain. Okay, well, we can try to do administrative discharge, but just know if you do administrative discharge, you're not going to get an honorable discharge. You're going to get like other than honorable discharge. You may not get a dishonorable discharge, which is the worst, but you may get a other than honorable discharge, or you may get a BCD, which is a bad conduct discharge, which is one step, above dishonorable discharge. So again, volunteer military, volunteer Amazon. I don't see a difference. The only difference is in the military, you signed a contract, you can't quit, but there is ways to get you out in less than a year. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can get out of the military in less than a year, but you ain't gonna like when you go and try to apply for other jobs and say, were you ever part of the military? Yes. What type of discharge did you get other than honorable? And then no one wants to hire you or give you an interview. So again, they want to say that it's slave labor. Quit. That's all I got for you guys on that one. It says here, one labor and employment observer said the New York vote was shocking since Amazon workers, they had no support from an established union. I get it. COVID-19 infection increases your risk for diabetes, a new study shows. So There you go. Uh-oh. I remember Skippy's growing up. I remember Skippy's growing up. I always liked the crunchy one. It says, recall issue for thousands of Skippy peanut butter cases due to steel fragments. Ooh. The specific jars impacted included Skippy reduced fat, creamy peanut butter spread, Skippy reduced fat, chunky peanut butter spread, and Skippy creamy peanut butter blended with plant protein. This is funny. I think the other, about a week or two ago, I don't know if it was our peanut butter. We don't buy Skippy. We buy some sort of organic almond butter, but it was a little metal ball in one of our peanut butters too. So family, if you like peanut butter, you put it in your shake, something like that, be very, very careful that it's like metal shavings and fragments and even metal balls possibly in your peanut butter. All right, let's see here. We talked about that. I think that's all of what I have for you guys today. I see we've been on here roughly an hour and a half. Hopefully you guys enjoy yourself. Again, we just covered some hot news topics. Believe me, family, if you're just tuning in, please rewind the video. I think we cover a lot of topics here today, very insightful. Some things that you probably didn't know that was going on that is now going on. If you're not a subscriber, I encourage you to subscribe to Financial Literacy 101, where Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays I'll give you a stock review other than today. And I did say that I was going to show my portfolio. Okay, let me do that very quickly. Here's my portfolio. And I'm just going to skim through this because I'm out of time here today. Okay. I know some of you guys may not be familiar with the tickers and symbols, but this is my portfolio. Okay. All right. So there you have it. You guys have a great and wonderful Friday. And I see you guys this weekend. We might chop it up and talk about some other things. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired.